Donald Trump proposes a 50-year mortgage, and that brings to light the borrower is servant to the lender. So I got a little information here. The word mortgage, when you look it up, what they're saying it means is that the pledge is dead after it's over. Where you get the word mortgage from. That's what they say it means. Meaning the pledge dies after it's fulfilled. Okay, but when we break it down, we tell you that it means when you get involved in a loan, a mortgage loan, you can't, it's highly unlikely that you'll be able to pay it off. And if you were to pay it off, it would be close to your death. All right, so we gotta adjust this. So let's, it says mortgage, dead, mortos, gage, pledge or security. In medieval law, this meant the pledge that died either before the borrower paid the debt and the obligation ended, or because the property was taken through foreclosure. In essence, a mortgage is a dead pledge, a contract that lives only until one side fulfills or fails. So that's what they're saying it means. All right. Donald Trump's proposed 50-year mortgage. And people are saying online, well, they're saying the same thing we're saying. Well, death. You'll never own the home. All right. So in turn, they're actually saying that the pledge won't die. All right. So there's maybe some social engineering going on there. Or you'll be dead before it's paid off. All right. Or it'll never be paid off. You'll die before it's paid off. So, all right, no, he is a president. Introduce a 50-year mortgage to make housing more affordable by lowering monthly payments. So this is a trick. Oh, just get my monthly payments low and I'll keep paying on it. These are broke people. All right, whenever you hear somebody make that statement, oh, I just keep the monthly payments affordable. I can keep making the payments because you have this job and you can keep making the payments. That's the thinking. But you'll pay more on the back end. All right, in the long run. All right, the borrower is servant to the lender. It's a proverb. We're going to read that. That's really the only scripture I have. It's the point. It says, this idea stretched the standard 30-year term, which that's even long, to 50 years so buyers can qualify for homes with smaller monthly obligations. Oh, just keep the monthly, I'm in the mind frame of a car. As long as the monthly payments are low, I can continue to make the payments on the car. So you can extend the loan, extend the price, extend the interest, so long as the monthly payments are low. However, that's that's the wrong way to think. But, you know, we're in Babylon. You know, a lot of people are broke. Their finances aren't straight. So, and they want that car, they want that house. They'll pay more on the back end. Now, the interest is going to end up being more, if my calculations are correct, than the actual principal, the actual home. However, financial analysts warn that longer terms would mean massively higher total interest and slower. All right, so you get that. All right, so a calculation here, 6% interest on a $348,000 loan, $2,086 a month. Total interest, $403,117. Total cost principal, which is the cost of the house, plus interest, $751,117. So let me go over that again. 30-year mortgage. $2,000 a month. This is rounded down to that. Total interest, $403,000. Total cost plus interest, $751,000. Now it's 50-year mortgage. Let's say $1,800 a month, your payment. Total interest, $751,000 in interest. Total cost, remember the house is $348,000, 6% interest. Total cost, $1,099,000. Let me go over the 50-year mortgage again. This is Trump proposed plan. Remember, Trump didn't come up with this shit himself. Well, he is in the real estate, but I don't think he came up with this with himself. Well, he made it spitballed it or whatever. And then so the Jay said, yeah, let's go with it. 50-year mortgage, $1,800 a month, $751,000 interest, $348,000 principal, how much the house costs, total $1,099,000 total. So yeah, well, I can see why. Well, in this case, the pledge would never die, or I guess it depends on your perspective. It would get transferred. It would die because you foreclose on the house because you can't keep up the payments, or you die before it is fulfilled, and the loan has to die. All right. So, but that's what it means. Mortgage means dead pledge. So on some end, middle, the pledge is going to die. All right. Or you're going to die. Or both. All right. So that's insane. So the scripture I have here is Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Okay. And who's going to make money off of this? The bankers are going to make money. Okay. People that are real estate brokers are going to make money. They're going to make the money. And you're going to be a 50-year mortgage. Look, this is why a lot of these rental properties are popping up, because people would rather make a smaller investment and be able to break away from it within 10 months, 12 months, 13 months, 15 months. And this is going to their next generation. But 50 years just to get a home, and you got these millennials or whatever age group is complaining about not being able to afford a home. This is the answer. Making it, this is the same thing that cars do. The car salesmen do. Oh, make the payment very low, increase the interest, increase the term of the loan. So now they're doing it with houses. Well, they've been doing it with houses with the 30-year thing. Now I got to do the research on what was the like in the 50s, what was the loan term. I don't know, but I can say definitely 50 years is definitely doing the same thing the car business is doing. All right, keep them payments low, increase the interest, increase the length of the term length. All right, and we got Romans 13:8. Oh no, man, anything. But again, we live in a credit-based system right now, so amongst the brotherhood, and amongst people you deal with in the world, do your best not to owe, and if you do, pay your debts. All right. It says, "Oh no man anything but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law." All right, we got saying then we can't keep these laws. Like this proves this. Deuteronomy 28, 12th chapter. No, Deuteronomy 20th chapter, 12 and 13 verse. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure. Thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail. Right now, we're the tail. We got to borrow. Everything's based upon credit. Unless you have capital, you have to depend on the credit system. All right. So amongst the Israelites, us, our ancestors, us today, all right, everything's in reverse. It could be America is known as Babylon America. That's what some brothers and I typically say. Babylon America, because we are the tail, we're not the head. So the blessing, what verse was that? Then I think the 15th verse starts the curses. So Yahweh, or the Lord, shall open unto thee his good treasure. Thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail. So we're definitely the tail in this system, because we are subject to the bankers, the international bankers. All right, the Apostle Gabar goes into that term, when it's appropriate. The international bankers, meaning that the so-called the elite have banks set up around the world, and they created a fractional reserve system. Now it's not even fractional anymore. It's based upon trust, or really military might and power, and being the reserve currency. So the bankers have the world under contract to trade their money. All right, they're FRNs, Federal Reserve notes, and that's a universal thing around the whole earth. The money system is based upon Federal Reserve notes, not fractional. Fractional means you have a certain amount of gold, and you put the gold up next to it and say, okay, we got this amount of gold that's backing the what we have in circulation. So it's not fractional reserve anymore. It's just based upon the system that they enforce, which everybody agrees with. Well, they use it. Whether they agree with it or not, that's another thing. But they agree with it on a level because they use the money and they buy, the oil and certain commodities in the dollar, and the dollar is transferred to different currencies. But that's it. That's the proposed plan. He might not even go through with it, but if he does, that's going to be crazy. 50-year mortgage, dead pledge. So I gave you some of the etymology on that and what they're saying it means, and at a point the contract, the pledge is going to die or transferred, whereas your specific pledge would be dead and then a new pledge would be enacted. So an interesting word, dead pledge. So I'll leave that there. Hope you edified. Shalom.